the North Star Stamper. I'm Susan Kramer. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Woodbury, Minnesota. Thank you for joining me today. Let me find myself on my computer. I know I can click on my photo that has the red live circle around my face, but then I get the, excuse me, the reel, and the orientation is different. So if you are getting that, if your screen is cut off kind of like this, you're looking at the reel that Facebook automatically creates for me. So you can back out of that and then go back into my page and scroll down, and amongst the posts you'll find my live that will be a video instead of a reel. So hopefully that helps. They changed that a few months ago. So today we are talking paper pumpkin. Hopefully you know where to find me everywhere you are online. Thank you for following me and liking and commenting and all that stuff so I can find, share with more people. We're talking paper pumpkin today. This was the April kit called Lakeside Retreat, and I have these 3 cards. On the back, they always tell us what is included in the kit. The instructions are really good. They tell you, like I always joke, they tell you where to put the adhesive, but they show you which pieces you need to stamp on and where to stamp to create the card exactly as they have on the front. This kit made 9 cards and they have coordinating envelopes, so we got 3 of each of these. I like to make one to see how the kit goes together, and then I use the other pieces sometimes just to play and create my own. I love that this had a coordinating suite in the in the catalog. Hold on, let me find that in here. Or was that must have been the last catalog, because this was April. Or is this in here? I don't know. Suite collections. Sorry, I should have looked this up before. What was I thinking? Suite collections. Where are you? Here we are. In this catalog, on page 15, you'll see the Waterside Retreat, and that suite is on page 20. So let's go to page 20. So they actually show you, well, yeah, anyway, this is the suite. It has this bundle, and it stamps the Adirondack chair, and then you can also die cut it. I did not buy that because I had the old seasonal layers thinlits that included this Adirondack chair, and I didn't want to buy another one because I felt like I didn't have to. So if you didn't have to get this one, this was part of the Colorful Seasons. It coordinated with Colorful Seasons. If you didn't have this, you can get this to get your Adirondack chair. I just think the Adirondack chairs are so fun. I don't own one, but I like to sit in them when we're at shows and whatnot. So that's what we're talking about today. And the reason we're talking about that is the August Paper Pumpkin Kit is on sale to people who, one, have never subscribed to Paper Pumpkin. You'll get 25% off the August kit if you sign up to get Paper Pumpkin between now and August 10th. Or if you haven't been a Paper Pumpkin subscriber for 18 months. So I didn't go back and figure out when 18 months was. So a year and a half ago, so January 25. If you were a Paper Pumpkin subscriber before that, you can also get the August Paper Pumpkin Kit for 25% off. So that's why we're talking about Paper Pumpkin. I love these kits. Look at these layouts. They're fabulous. They're just really nice. And then the envelopes that came with it, look at the clouds. And I stamped on the inside. So quite often when, here, let's talk more about Paper Pumpkin. You always get a small stamp set. Most often if you look on these, hi Mom and Dad, thanks for joining me. If you look on these, we're almost always stamping the sentiment. And then on this card, we stamp the birds and the cattails. We have cattails and birds and cattails. And here we put the cattails facing down just as an accent. And then we stamp 2 sentiments, and then this little rope, that's a little stamp right here too. So they do use more than just the sentiments. These stamps are kind of fun. Actually, they used all 3 of the decorative elements. But the words on there were great too. It was, you could make a Father's Day card, which I didn't. I made something else for my dad, didn't I? Anyway, he's watching with my mom. But you can make birthday cards and all sorts of different things. So that's why we're talking about it. So like I said, this coordinated with a whole suite, but I only have the paper. So that's what we're working with today. Let me back up another minute. For my Paper Pumpkin subscribers, after you get your kit, and usually I like to receive mine and make a card or two before I decide what to send you. I always send extra cardstock, and I base it on the colors, you know, Old Olive, Pecan Pie. Peaceful Pine was the ink in this kit, which was fun to get an in color. And then I'll send you coordinating cardstock and then some little labels or whatever. Sometimes I'll see if there's an element there. So like these cattails would fit nicely on here and you could stamp a sentiment. So I always send these things as a thank you to my Paper Pumpkin subscribers. And I think they appreciate them. Whether they use them with this Paper Pumpkin kit or not, is really up to them, obviously. But I try to send different colors and different, I call them labels, and things. So last month, I looked to see which dies Diane had ordered, and I made dies of things that she didn't have, so she could use something different and see if she might like it. Okay, so we're going to make a card. So I had asked, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about as far as Paper Pumpkin goes. Now we're just going to create a card. Let's go back to our catalog. This is May through August. And on page 13, there's this QR code. I should make sure I'm in the view. Hi, Deb. Thanks for joining. If you use your smartphone on the camera setting and point your camera at this, it'll take you to a link that has a whole bunch of sketches, and I can't remember how many. I did not count them, but there were tag sketches, card sketches, and scrapbook sketches, which I've seen someone take a scrapbook sketch and then she only used like part of the scrapbook sketch on a card. So that was kind of fun. Of course, a tag can always be a card instead, or vice versa. These card sketches could be used for a tag, and I don't scrapbook, but I can't see why you couldn't make these rectangle elements into photos if you're making a scrapbook. But anyway, so that's where I got my sketch for today. So I had asked hi Alma, thanks for joining us. I had asked you if we should do a sketch or a fun fold, and I couldn't get people to chat. Maybe you were busy keeping cool today. So we're going to do both. We're going to use a sketch that I found on here, and then we're going to do a pop-up. I haven't done a pop-up in many months, and it was the first fun fold card I ever learned how to do. So I have some things here. So beyond Paper Pumpkin, I have some cardstock because we might need that. And I've done some die cutting. I die cut a few Adirondack chairs. I thought it would be fun. And yes, they have adhesive on it. Those were from the seasonal layers, which coordinated with the colorful seasons. And then I found this die cut in my Catch of the Day Thinlits dies. They had fish in it I know it was a while ago. I don't have a year on it. I probably should go back and figure out when that was active. And then here's another Adirondack chair looking over a lake. I thought that might be kind of fun to use, maybe on the inside or on the envelope. I don't know. I'm getting a little nervous because I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I've got some ideas. So it'll all come together, right? I always figure if I made a card at the end of our session, we'll be good. So some of the pieces from the Paper Pumpkin kit that I like, the tags, we'll see if we use that. I like this one. I should show you my sketch. And now I lost it. I put it to the side. Here, I'll just write it on. I'll draw it right here. Okay. So the sketch went like this, and then there were 4 pieces here, down the middle, and a short one here, and a short one here, with a label there. So this was our sketch, and I'll put an S here for sentiment. That's what I would have put there. But instead, I'm going to turn it sideways. And I have a very vanilla card base that we'll use. And then I have already cut a pecan pie layer. And this is two-tone. So you can see the front and back are different colors. We'll decide which color we want there. And then I'm going to cut some of these pieces from either pieces from the DSP or just pieces of DSP. And I don't know if it'll be right and left or vice versa. And then one of these sentiment strips here. And I also have my rounded rectangle punch that we could use if we want a layer behind our sentiment. So in this designer series paper, again, it's called Waterside Retreat. I don't know if you can read this. It lists 6 colors: gray granite, misty moonlight. Here, I'll let you look at something pretty while I read. Misty moonlight, old olive, pecan pie, pool party, and very vanilla. If you go onto the website and pull up Waterside Retreat designer series paper, they list 13 different colors that are in this paper. I need to suggest to Stampin' Up! That they list all 13 colors on our on the packaging, because I don't know, they should, so that I don't have to, but I always look it up. So this piece you can cut apart and make very quick cards. So that's where this piece came from. And I had another one. This piece. This man, these 2 people in a boat. I don't know if they're men, women. That one came from there. So I just cut them apart. And the back side is just a blue stripe, so that's kind of fun. Alright, so let me just make some piles here. So I thought the fish would be a nice element for one of these rectangles. The backside is some fun water. If you, like me, kind of collect water-based or water-themed products, stamps, dies, embossing folders, punches. We had a whale punch for a while. He'd be kind of fun to put in here in these waves. So that's kind of fun. And I think my Adirondack chair is going to be on my pop-up on the inside, and I don't know where those are going either. So I have these, and there's some fish. Let me dig a little more in. Oh, there it is. There it is. I thought I might cut this down to be about this size. I really like the cabin in the water, so I thought I would cut it down, but it'll chop off the trees, so we'll see. I'll cut it and see what that looks like. So these are the pieces we're gonna play with. I don't know. Here's a small piece of the fish. So other ones, there's some bikes and some they look like seagulls to me. That's a big piece. That's too big. I looked at this one too. Alma, doesn't this remind you of Big Watab Lake? That's actually almost like the shape of it. We have a family cabin on a long lake. Over the weekend we were there, and Tony said the lake is a mile long. I don't know, but it just reminds me of Big Watab, that it's a long, skinny lake. So we could use part of that too. So just playing with all these pieces. What else do we have? We have some stripes, and then I could fussy cut these to be on my card. I decided to die cut instead. I'll show you the rest of this paper. So the fish in the water, the bikes and the birds. We have they look like seagulls to me. And a nice stripe. This will make a great masculine birthday card. Put a big happy birthday on it. You could be done in minutes. One more piece to share. And it has more water buoys and life preservers and whatnot. And the back side of that is a nice wood grain. So those are all the papers in here. So I also grabbed I think of it as a tree trunk or a tree ring. embossing folder. I don't know how that would work on our card. Okay, where did my paper go? Uh-oh, I put it to the side. We're gonna work on, excuse my reach. Uh-oh, I know it's here somewhere. That was for Paper Pumpkin. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves. There it is. Okay, let's move stuff out of the way. Sorry, it got kind of messy there. And we'll put this up here. We'll put these off to the side. These I thought we would color with small blending brushes. I really like and then maybe a blender pen to make the cattails brown. Okay. So let's back up a little. Here's our card base. Just a standard A2, 8.5 by 11. No, 8.5 by 5.5. Fold that in half. And then I'm not going to adhere this because I'm not sure if I want the light side or the dark side. Actually, this kind of looks like cardstock instead of the two-tone. And I have that. Did I cut that right? Yeah, I think that's right. 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So there's just a narrow border there. We're going to set that aside and we're going to work on the inside. So this piece is 4.5 by 7.5. So I'm going to fold this in half. Now do I want, yes, we'll do it this way. You can see it's different colors, two-tone. Alma says, oh yes, looks like Big Waterside Lake. And that's about an hour and a half from me, north. Actually, it's between Alma and I, where we live. So it's a very nice cabin for us to share with the family. Do you remember making a pop-up card? So I'm going to cut 2 slits parallel on my fold. So I folded a piece in half, and it's smaller than inside my card. So this is how much smaller it is. It doesn't have, it can be any size really, but it's best if it is smaller than the inside of your card. And then you fold it in half, and you saw me cut 2 slits parallel, well, pretty parallel. I didn't quite go straight there. And we're gonna fold that and burnish it. And let's get that out of the way. And then we're gonna pop this on the inside, and that's gonna become a little step that we can adhere something to here, and it'll pop up in our card. I thought that might be kind of fun. Okay, so here is one place that I could use my embossing folder on the front, on the top. I don't want to emboss the bottom because that's where we're going to write, so I'm going to leave that smooth. But I think I am going to emboss the top, just because I can. So this has to go through my machine this way, because my machine is this wide, not this wide. So I'm going to take the top of my inside layer, and I can emboss the my little step there too. So I'm going to put the fold right on the edge of the embossing folder and close it. So my crease is right here along the edge of the embossing folder, and I'm going to run it too. And this is a 3D plate, so I need my number 4 thicker, what's the word I want, plate to emboss it. And I see I just moved something aside. We haven't talked a lot about the August Paper Pumpkin kit. One of the things about Paper Pumpkin is it's a surprise, and I kind of like that it's a surprise. And I try not to look on Facebook to see once other people have received their Paper Pumpkin kit, because I want it to be a surprise when I open my box. So that's kind of fun. So we did get one little preview peek. We'll put this aside while I talk about this for just a minute. A preview peek about the kit. And they tell us the colors and how many cards, and all that information is on my website at northstarstamper.com. And on the front of the card, there was people call these cover dies. Now, this is not the one they used. These are from, this is a retired one that came with birds. I forget what it was. Oh, here, I grabbed it. That was the Winterly Treetops, and we die cut it out of green for evergreens. And this one we used in the virtual card retreat, and it makes this, it looks like this when it's die cut. So the card in the August Paper Pumpkin kit kind of reminds me of this. There's going to be a layer on our card, and from the retreat we learned lots of had lots of inspiration about cutting this. So we can cut portions of it. We can cut off the edge. So it'll be fun to get the August Paper Pumpkin kit and do some of those techniques I learned in the retreat. So I will share that with all of you. Maybe I'll do you know what? I'll probably do a video for my Paper Pumpkin subscribers in next month. It won't be till September. We're going to be gone for a little bit of August. But that'll be fun to share those techniques. Anyway, so here's our tree. Are embossed on the front part. So that's going to be our card. You see the little notch there. And so when I adhere this to my card, it'll still close flat. But when I open it up, I'm going to put something like this on here. And then when I close it, it's closed flat. And then when you open it, it's got a little stand there. I think this is where I'm going to put my Adirondack chair. Not on this piece. We'll find another one. So that's where we're going. It's working out. So I'm going to use lots of green glue on this. So you go right around your hole there. That's your pop-up element. And this is not smooth, so I'm going to put lots of glue, which I don't normally do. I'm a little more economical than that these days. And you just fold this right into your card. And burnish. And there's that. So we're going to turn it over. And we'll adhere the bottom side. And again, this time I don't need quite as much glue. That's a different bottle. I think these are my last 2 bottles of green glue. I have to put them on my next order. This one, I can be a little more frugal with my adhesive, because this is just the bottom. All right. So there's the inside of our card so far. Hopefully you can see that. All right, and then this is going to go on the front. Oh, adhesive on me. So I cut this so that these elements can be 2 inches and 2 inches. So let's play around with some of these. And this, I believe, is 2 inches. Oh, I like those colors. I am going to cut this. And I want it to be about this size. I know I want it 2 inches wide, so let's cut off. If I cut 1 inch off, that's probably good. And I want it 2 inches. And we'll put this one up to the side. Excuse me. Let's see. So this and this. Oh, there we go. Now I need something to go in the corners. Do we want the fish? They're kind of far apart, although that might be all right. Cut this corner. Although I kind of like this too. It kind of looks, like I said, it looks like the cabin. It would be about that big. I don't know. Let's see what else I have. I have bikes. No, I have that. Maybe we'll just do the fish and the water. I don't know. Too many decisions. Okay. So what did I say this had to be? See, this is where I should have cut things ahead of time. All right, so this has to be a total of 5.5 inches. No, 5. Oh, that's all 5.5. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Where's my thing here? We want it 5 inches, not 5.5. So this goes here. It's kind of like a puzzle. So this is 3. So I want 2.5 inches. No, 2. 2. I want the bottom of the lake. 2 inches. And then, what did I say? This was 3, so I want 2 inches here too. I want the lake on there. So we're going to cut a little bit off. That'll be garbage. And this will be 2 inches. We don't have too many fishermen at the lake, do we, Alma? I know nobody went out fishing when we were there. It was just us and Sue and Scott at the lake last weekend. And it was hot. We only were there Friday, Saturday, because it was too hot to be there. I think I like these fish. They're kind of fun. We'll put these because it has a lot of the blue in it. And how big is this? Where'd my ruler go? I think I put it back. Uh-oh. Oh well, I'll use this. This is 3.5. So I get 1.5 by 2. So we'll do the 2 first. The green? No, I like those blue fish. And 1.5. Oh, that's going to cut his face off. So we're going to cut a little bit of his tail off. And 1.5. We're getting there. We're not almost done, but there. And that should fit. There we go. Okay, we still have, so that's going to be our front with a sentiment. And we'll probably use one of these. And on the inside, like I said, I want to put an Adirondack chair and one of these die cuts, but I need a piece, maybe a piece of this, and we can put this here. I don't think I am going to use these. Maybe down here. We'll do that. I'll put this here, and then we'll put this piece here, like the person sitting on the shore watching. I might cut a little bit of this off. We have hills that are green across the lake. We don't have mountains across the lake. So we're going to trim this down a little bit. I don't know, 3.5. I don't want to chop those boats off. We're going to center this on here. So to put this on our card, let's wait. Let's wait. All right. We can put this together. Oh, cute. Very cute. All right. I think I'm going to put these pieces where I want them and then kind of put it together like a puzzle. I'll adhere them like a puzzle. You know what? I'm just going to put a little at the top. I've been playing around with the quilt cards that you've heard me talk about. And if I don't get things straight, it is really noticeable. So I'm just looking at how straight I am up here. I can go back and, so these are like flaps. I can go back and add the rest of my adhesive afterwards. So I'm lining this up at the top. I see I didn't put the even here and here, but I can always trim it. And maybe we'll do this side. So I'm just making these flaps so I can get it all lined up. Look how nicely that fits. And then these little fish should pop into place. Not quite. So I'm off by like 1/8 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is just put some adhesive on one side, and I'm going to tuck it underneath, but then I'm going to line it up with this piece above it. Does that make sense? I'm not quite straight, but that works. Okay, I'm going to go back and adhere these down. Oops. It's so quiet. It's so quiet. Let's see. Alma says, I was wondering how the lake was on such a hot weekend. We were in the water. I haven't gotten in the water in probably 5 years. But Mom and Dad, you'll be very proud of me. I got a swimsuit on and I went into the water. And that water is deep. Alma, correct me if I'm wrong, and I think Tony told the kids, the lake at the deepest point is 125 feet deep. And where we swim out by where the raft is, the water's about 30 feet deep. It's a spring-fed lake as well, so it is very cold. But with all the heat we've had in Minnesota, my sister-in-law Sue said the water temperature last weekend, not yesterday and a couple days ago, but the weekend before, was 83 degrees. The water temperature in that deep, deep lake was 83 degrees. So I didn't center it on here, so I just trimmed that off. And this doesn't match up either, but I'm good with it. It's not perfect, but whoever receives it will appreciate. I must have mismeasured this. Oh, I forgot to grab embellishments and twine. But there's so many colors and patterns, I'm not sure I need it. So I'm going to make sure I put this on the front of the card and not on the back. I guess I mismeasured. Like I said, I thought this was a piece of two-tone cardstock, but I don't think it was. Isn't that cute? I really like that. Let's finish the front. Green, brown. Ooh, that one's too big. We'll pick both of these. So in the paper pumpkin kits, I believe there were 3 of each card, but you'll see there are 4 of each of these sentiment strips. So if you misstamp, you get another chance. You can always, I've talked about this too, you can always turn it over. You're missing the green and the green edge and the little doodad in the corner. But, I mean, if you misstamp on there and don't have another one, you could easily do that. I would probably put a piece of cardstock behind it because it blends in. And this one, I think we'll put it over the fish because they're just kind of an accent. Green, nope, blue or brown. Ties all the brown in together. All right, I can put that out of the way. Now I need to find a sentiment. In this kit, these are the stamps we have. You're an inspiration. I like that. I'll leave this here so you can see. These are our stamps. I've been using a lot of paper pumpkin stamps in my Christmas in July cards because there's a lot of small Merry Christmas stamps in past paper pumpkin kits. You're an inspiration, and now I need some ink. Not doing much stamping, am I? Oh well. Sorry, I'm going to pull this down. I don't know if I'm almost on screen. I had to make sure it was straight, and that's pretty good. So you can barely see me at the bottom of the screen. That's okay. We're going to leave this out. I don't know. I think I'm just going to put that on small dimensionals. Oh, I forgot to put adhesive on my table. This works. And I might add a twine, like a baker's twine, something dark, or linen thread. I'll probably add that to the card too. Just I think it needs a little something. How are we doing on time? Oh, it's already 8 o'clock. Okay, we're good there. All right. And then this is going to go here. But we're going to put our chair on first. Now I have to decide which chair. A blue chair. I think that's Secret C. A red chair. Oh, that'll... I wish I had thought ahead and done it in Cajun Craze. Maybe this one. And we'll add some brown to it. If I had a wood stamp, like wood grain, I could add wood grain to that. But I think we're going to use this one. And then, like I said, we're going to put one of these down here, not that one. We're going to put this down here, but we're going to color that too. So let's color these things. All right, we're going to use pecan pie. And find my brown. I'm going to add pecan pie to our chair. Make it look weathered, like it's been sitting out on the beach, on shore. We'll make it really dark at the bottom. That's cute. We're going to put that there. This does have adhesive sheet on it, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. You can see there were several pieces. Oh, this is going to take a minute. That's right. I'll show you how I'm working with my garbage these days. This was just a layer, and I scored it at 1 inch all the way around, and then I cut the corners to make little tabs, and there's a glue dot on there, and that's where my garbage goes, so it doesn't end up all over my floor. It works really well. And then since they're glue dots, when I'm not using it, I just take it apart and I kind of stash it to the side. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. We're going to put it right on the sand on the edge. Let's add it to our card right away. Where'd my card go? Uh-oh. Oh, it's right here. So for this, we're going to put adhesive just on the front of that little step. So just right here is where your adhesive goes. And because that is such a small space, I'm going to use a stronger adhesive like tear and tape. If you have Seal Plus, that would work. I'm going to put 2 little pieces. Now you have to make sure whatever element you put on your pop-up step here isn't too long or tall and won't. There we go. So I'm going to set this down, and so it can't be too tall or it's going to go outside the top of your card. I'm going to center it, and then I'm just going to close my card. Hopefully it's straight up. Okay. I didn't do it upside down. Isn't that cute? So we have a pop-up card, and then we can write happy birthday or whatever, whatever their inspiration. So that is a nice generic, kind of like thinking of you. All right, one more thing. Actually, a couple more things. I don't have an envelope handy. We're going to add brown to our cattails. That works. And then I'm going to use my small green one. That's not a lot of ink on that. We can use a couple different colors. Thank you for sticking with me. So don't forget about the paper pumpkin sale. We're almost done here. I'm going to start at the bottom where I want it darker green and just push that up. The paper pumpkin sale goes through August 10th because then your kit you'd be charged on the 11th, and then they mail your kit right away and you can watch your mailbox. I'm looking forward to getting that kit. I'm really looking forward to September's kit. It has trees that have changed colors. Again, I think that's all on my blog at northstarstamper.com. Oh, look at that. Cute. This is just going to go on with some liquid glue, or glue dots would work too. just a little bit of liquid glue. I don't know if you notice, I start in the middle before I squeeze it out so I know how quickly it's coming out. That way I don't end up with glue everywhere. I didn't put any on the tip of that. I'm actually going to put it off to the side and down below. There we go. You know what? I do want some twine. I forgot I put it in a basket. I think this is linen thread. We're just going to take, I know paper pumpkin will give you, used to give you twine and you'd have to cut it to 9 inches. I always remember that because I thought that was a good size. So we're going to make 2 bunny ears. And then do an overhand knot. And tie it. And I think I'm just going to use a glue dot and tuck it under there. Oh, that looks good. Glue dot. Glue dot. I'm sure these are from kits. We'll use a big one. I'm going to set it right on my bow here. That didn't work. Sorry, this is taking me longer than I anticipated. That's right. And then I'm going to use, put that in my little bin, use my take your pick tool to tuck it underneath my sentiment. There, that's better. Good. So there we are. There's my sketch and a fun fold pop-up. Thank you for joining me. And if you're looking to buy any of these supplies, oh, this kit, the Waterside Retreat Kit, is still available. So if you subscribe for August, you can go back and order this kit. The full kit is available with the ink spot, which is somewhere here. The ink spot and the stamp set would be included. You get the Peaceful Pine ink and then these cards and envelopes. And then the August kit. And then I'll be sending all of my subscribers extra cardstock and labels so they can make more cards. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you for joining me. You're welcome for all the ideas, Mom. I'm glad you're here. Oh, I had asked about fishing. Alma said Scott used to fish, but not so much anymore. Yeah, I asked him, and he said he hasn't in a while. Yeah, so let's see. I think we're good. Oh, Kristen, I missed your comment. She said, I'm watching from the boat. That's funny. She lives on the St. Croix River. Oh, that's that's awesome. Perfect for what you were making. Yes, that reminds me, although I don't know if you wear floppy hats like that. Tony does when he's walking. But anyway, so that's what I have for you today. Thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. And next week, I think I'm still available to do a live. So take care, everybody. Stay cool. It was 100 here today. Hopefully it's not coming east to you, Mom and Dad. Or, yeah, east to you, Mom and Dad. But take care. Bye.